Hello, you lovely lot. A long time no see, but I thought, given how exciting this trip to the theatre is, I would pick up my vlogging camera once again and bring the vlogs back to the channel. Now, my life has been incredibly hectic lately, which is why the channel has taken a little bit of a backseat in my life, but I am here and I am ready to bring you guys along with me on this very exciting trip. So let's get into this. Now, you might be wondering, Flora, why is this trip more exciting than any other theatre trip you have ever gone on? Well, guys, Flower Theatre is going international. That is right, this is going to be my first time leaving the UK to go and see a musical, which is why I just had to bring you guys along with me. You might be wondering, Flora, what show are you going to see? And if you haven't been following along with my exciting preparations on any of my other social media channels, then it is time I reveal to you that we are going to see Hercules the Musical in Hamburg, Germany. I know, we are going to Germany specifically to see a musical, a sentence I never thought I would ever say. Now, I've never been to Germany before. I do have a GCSE in German, so I'm hoping that helps me out a little bit, but I'm relying on the fact that I know the musical Hercules like the back of my hand to get me through watching this production, but it gets better than that still. We're not just going to watch Hercules, but you're actually going behind the scenes at the theatre itself before we see the show, which again is an absolutely fantastic opportunity. So I say we get my bags packed, get to the airport and get to Germany. As you can see, my bag has been expertly packed by myself. Now, I had no idea what to pack. I got back from Portugal 2 days ago, so I'm kind of between suitcases, we shall say. So hopefully I've got everything. I forgot to pack my hairbrush. I need to go find my hairbrush. I'm glad I was talking to you guys about this, because had I not spoken to you, because I was going to say, I always forget to pack my hairbrush, and you guys have just witnessed that on camera. So I need to put you guys down, go and find my hairbrush wherever it is, and hopefully remember to pack everything else that I need as well. Guys, don't worry, the hairbrush has been located and found. So we are now officially packed and ready to go. So let's head to the airport together. Okay, we have made it to Hamburg. We are seeing the musical tomorrow. Me and Kaylin are currently in our little hotel room. They're in the bathroom right now, which is why they're not here. We've been messing about with the bedside lights, using them as follow spots, because it's quite good fun, and I highly recommend if you ever have a movable light like that, you give it a go, because follow spotting I feel like is a lot harder than anyone ever thinks it is, like preempting movements and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing to pass the time, because the only thing in English on the TV is the Euros, and despite the fact that it's England versus the Netherlands, I have no interest in watching it, because I'm a theatre kid, not a football fan. But we have a whole morning planned in Hamburg. I think we're going to go to the Old Town and have a wander around, because it is supposed to be really gorgeous. There is some Baroque architecture that I would quite like to see. We might go check out the model village, because I say model village, it is like a model of the whole of Germany plus a bit of Europe. Like, it is very, very impressive. And I think at about 5 o'clock, 5:30 is when our tour of the theatre begins, followed directly by watching the musical. So stay tuned, I will pick you up in the morning. Alright, as you can see, it is the next day. We have spent the morning exploring Hamburg, which has been absolutely lovely. It's such a nice temperature outside. We went to the Prototype Automobile Museum, which was really interesting for someone like me who likes cars. They had a Michael Schumacher Benetton, I think it was, which was really cool, even though he never finished the race in it. Actually, he quit the team 2 weeks later, so clearly the car wasn't for him, because the car we saw broke down before it made it across the finish line, which is a little bit orcs. But anyway, that was really, really fun. And then we also went to the Hamburg Maritime Museum, which, my God, was huge. It just kept going up and up and up and up. And it wasn't until about level 8 that I really started enjoying it, because it was talking about topography and all of that fun jazz, which if you didn't know, I'm a geography student, so I absolutely loved that. There was even a sediment course, so I got to really nerd out. But you're not here for the museum review, even though both of them were really good, so I do recommend you doing them. We are here to go see the theatre, the Neue Flora Theatre, and no, it's not named after me, but the fact I share the name of the theatre, I think is a sign that I was meant to come and see Hercules. So as you can see, we have the Hercules top on. Thank you, Kaylin, for lending it to me, because I didn't have any Hercules merch myself. We're about to head over to the theatre for our tour. Now, I don't know how much of that I can show you, but I can definitely show you around a little bit more when we're actually in the theatre to see the show this evening. So let's head over to the theatre now. Okay, so we have just completed the tour, and whilst the tour was all in German, it was still very fascinating. We got to not only go on the stage, but also go in the wings and see all of the props, which, if you know Disney, you know is like a massive privilege. What else did we get to do? We got to go up in the rigging, which was really fun, and we also got to see some of the hair and makeup department, the wigs that the muses have. There's like 100 of them. They're amazing, they're gorgeous. Kaylin has something to say. Substage. We also got to go down to the substage. You'll be surprised how rickety a stage looks like from underneath. We also got to see the 2 lifts that they have in the show, one of which I'm not convinced I would fit in. I feel like my shoulders are too wide, but they didn't let me test it out, which I do think was a little bit rude. We've also been to the merch stand. It was enough for us to need a bag, so thank you to my mother for making these purchases happen. And I'm also very, very excited to head into the theatre and show you guys what it looks like, because something interesting about this theatre is that seat numbers are very different to what they're like in the UK. So the interesting thing about the way German theatres, or at least this theatre seems to number its seats, is the fact that it goes from the middle outwards. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way across like they would in a UK theatre, with the sort of, I don't know, lowest numbers being on the left and the higher numbers being on the very right-hand side of the stage, you have the seats start in the middle. So number 1, there's 2 number 1s, and they're both the seats right down the centre of the theatre, and then the numbers climb as you go out from there. So your tickets will say whether you are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the left or the right side of the theatre, which was a difference that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, I can't wait to take you guys into the theatre and show you what's going on. So we are in the theatre, and have a look at how gorgeous this set is. Now, if you would allow me to be a bit of an ancient history nerd for a moment, we are going to talk about what they have done with this proscenium arch. As you can tell, they've made it look like a Greek temple. Now you've got fluted Doric columns on either side, as well as the top of a, well, kind of at the top of the Parthenon here, and you can see they've got the solar system up here. Now, no Greek temple had the solar system up there because they didn't really know what the solar system looked like. But very gorgeous nonetheless, and you have this stunning logo here with the black figure pots as well, which is stunning. I'm loving the colours, gorgeous. Now, I also have to give this theatre props because if you can see behind me, it is very raked, meaning there's not really a bad seat in the house, meaning someone really tall can sit in front of you and you can see perfectly fine, which I really like. Okay, so we are halfway through. We just made it to the end of Act 1, and this is quite possibly one of the campest productions I have ever seen. My mum wondered whether it was like a language thing because we don't understand German per se. Though I am understanding it, a lot more of it than I thought I would, so German GCSE coming in clutch here. But it's so camp, but because, like I said, we don't know the language, all we have to go off is the visuals. I didn't realise this, but Shekinah is one of the muses, and I saw her in Hercules the Musical in Chichester when she was part of the tour, so her voice, incredible, all of the muses, amazing. The whole cast is fantastic, actually. I wish I knew what the added songs were sort of saying. Hades at one point was like, being blue is great. I picked up on that. So I'm intrigued to see this when it comes to London in 2025, to see how it compares when I can understand what the new songs are about. So yeah, that's my interval thoughts. My family has abandoned me to go and get ice cream, which is totally fair enough. And I'll pick you up at the end. Okay, we just got back from the theatre, and oh my god, I know I've included a little clip of the bows for you just to give you a little taste of this show, but it was absolutely fantastic. I'm going to do a full review for you guys, so definitely stay tuned for that. But here are my post-show thoughts. Was it the most highbrow theatre I have ever seen? Absolutely not. But was it still a really fun time? Completely. I will say, I do think there were some drawbacks to seeing it in a language that I have a very basic grasp of. I do think it made it difficult to connect, and as I said in the sort of interval catch-up, there are new songs that have been added, and I would love to know, what they were saying. I could kind of get, the vibe, oh, this is an I Want song, this is a more fun song, but I didn't really know what was happening. There weren't enough visual clues for me to really, get drawn in, and I think it also meant that I couldn't maybe connect to the characters in the way I could when, say, I'm watching the movie in my native language, which, as you can tell, is English. The costumes, I will have to say, there were costumes I preferred over others. The muses, I think, were the best part of the show. Not only their costumes, but also their hair, their makeup, and just their vocals, really. I mean, I think the muses are what make the movie itself, and for them to be such an integral part of this show and to have been given a bigger role in this show, I think was really, I don't know why I'm saying important. I think important because I really enjoyed it and I liked it. They were all stunning. Their voices were gorgeous. And like I said, perhaps the strongest part of the show, at least in my opinion. Hercules was fantastic. We had alternate Meg on and she was brilliant as well. Perhaps less comfortable in her role than the others, but I don't know how many times she has performed in this role, so that's understandable. If it's one of her, first times, or she doesn't go on for the role very frequently, then nerves are of course to be expected and you can't really fault her for that. I do think the sort of performance she gave was fantastic. One thing I really liked was that they let Meg wear heels which made her taller than Hercules. All too often when a female lead is taller or the same height as a male lead, they won't let her wear heels. But I liked that she was bigger than him. I thought it was a fun visual dynamic. And I really appreciate it. As someone who is 5'8" and therefore can't really wear heels around men without dwarfing them, I did appreciate this. I think Hades, despite him being my favourite character in the movie, was my least favourite character in this show. Which I wasn't expecting, and I wonder whether that'll change when I see the 2025 production in London. But I think those are all of the thoughts, like right off the top of my head. That's not English. I think those are all of the thoughts right off the top of what can't I say this? Right off the top of my head. I think those are all the thoughts right off the top of my head. I nailed it that time. And ruined that take, but well, we move. But I think that is it for the vlog. I am ready for my bed. We head home tomorrow, so really quick trip to Germany just to see this. Every time we were at border security, they're like, why are you coming to Germany? I think they were all expecting us to say football because England is through to the finals. As you can tell, theatre kid, sport is the last thing on my mind. We're all like, we're here to see Hercules the Musical. And they're like, that was not the answer we were expecting. So clearly it is not a big draw for the tourists, but that's why we came to Germany. We had a lovely time. The food has been great. Walking around Old Town this morning was lovely. We're going to Miniature Wonderland tomorrow at the recommendation of Mickey, Joe and Aaron, which I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be a little bit silly, but we needed something to kill the time between leaving the hotel and going to the airport. I don't know if I'll vlog any of that for you, but if I do, enjoy. If I don't, consider this me signing off. If you have enjoyed this chaotic vlog, then make sure you subscribe for more. Also, make sure you subscribe if you're looking forward to my review of Hercules, which will be a bit more formal and a little less rambly. But that is all from me here in Germany. I will see you when I am back home in England. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content here on YouTube, and as always, my lovelies, remember to stay stagey.